Good evening and welcome in to season 6 of the Mystic Lotus and Dragonflies Awesome Healers Training Summit. This week, our focus is on anxiety and how to go from anxious to awesome in 2 minutes. Sounds incredulous? Wait, hear me out. Now, what is anxiety? I could give you the textbook or dictionary definition of it. It is a feeling of fear, dread, and uneasiness. It's your body's response to stress. It's that feeling of nervousness or worry about something that is happening or might happen in the future. But you are not here to listen to me defining anxiety for you. You're here to listen to how our expert explains anxiety to you and what to do about it. Before I go into a few more details, I have something that I want to share. It's a bit in a dialogue set that I heard very recently. It's in Hindi, so I will say it in Hindi and translate it immediately for you as well. This is how it more or less goes. बंदूक लेने के बाद याद रखना, जान लेने से पहले 1000 बार सोचना, लेकिन जान बचाने से पहले एक बार भी नहीं. आइए चलिए अपने लोगों की जान बचाते हैं. Translated: whenever you pick up a gun, remember to think 1,000 times before you take a life, but don't think once before you save one. Come, let us go. Let's save the lives of our people. I had goosebumps when I heard it. It made an impact on me. While that situation is not a physical reality for me, but it inspired me and got me all emotional. So, what is the point I'm trying to make here? Any guesses? What is the point I'm trying to make here? Words. How we communicate with each other and how we express ourselves. Words can be captivating, stimulating, inspirational, funny, etc., 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 and can make us feel fulfilled, reassured, happy, loved, joyous, etc., etc., etc. Now, connecting the dots for you. From anxious to awesome in 2 minutes. How? With words. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, we respond to words. Words can create, heal, cure, prevent, destroy, and uplift. And knowing how to use them in a certain way also makes them medicine. These words are known as word medicine or light medicine, aka the decrees, the language of light. And it doesn't take much time to say these words. Therefore, these are the quickest way to feel better, get lighter, and move into a higher vibration in seconds. And who better to learn this from, to awaken the force within and become an anxiety freedom specialist than the OG of the decrees herself. On the calls this week, 76 ways anxiety reveals itself and how many are true for you. Root cause of anxiety and a deeper understanding of it. How anxiety leads to bloating, acidity, ADHD, hoarding, and clutter. What are the 2 biggest mistakes when trying to heal anxiety? The 1-minute hand movement to feel better. Why chakra work is crucial to anxiety freedom, making your own unique turbocharged water, and more, lots more. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, one last time this season, put your hands together for and join me in giving a warm Mystic Lotus welcome to Moonworker, retrograde specialist and owner and sharer of the decrees, Nidhu B Kapoor. Drum rolls, please. Hi, Nidhu. Welcome in. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was amazing. I loved what you said about words. I was like raising my hand. I said, this just has to be WORDS. This is what it is, where words can do something for you in a heartbeat. It didn't take you more than 30 seconds to have heard that. And yet it's left a lasting impact on your life. Such a lasting impact that you're here sharing it with us as well. And that's what words can do. And of course, more about that as we go on. But hi, everybody. I know that there are quite a few new names and new faces. I welcome you in. I know you're going through a lot. I know you've joined because we said we're going to make you feel lighter, brighter, better, relieved, and we will. If nothing else from all the requirements, please make sure that you have ample water with you. There are those of you all who have not attended any of the decree calls before, and therefore you may not know that water is mandatory. Terrible pages often, but not always, but water always. So please make sure that you're comfortable and that you have water with you before we actually begin understanding what anxiety really is.
Right. Nidhu, before you go into that, as you mentioned, lots of new names and faces, quite a few of them might not have attended any of your calls before or be familiar with decree work. So I'm going to take you back to your first call, which you started with asking all of us, what do you think healing is? And of course, you told us about it. But for the understanding of everybody here, new and old, as a reminder, start us with that again, Nidhu, about what is healing.
Well, actually, on the first call when we did it, we asked everybody, what do you think healing is? Let's do that again. People, what do you think healing is?
And as I said on the first call, people were waiting for you to write it in the group on the Telegram group.
Whatever crosses your mind, whatever is your understanding, what does healing mean to you?
Right. And as they write it, Vaishali wrote in saying, why did I imagine you wearing a blue liner as always, Nidhu? You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Fit. And she says, happy to see Neelu Nidhu combo again. Thank you. Sunita says, it's my first decree call. Looking forward to this talk. Absolutely, Sunita. And the people, and I can see people are writing. And of course, I can very quickly give you the answer, but that is not the point here. And in fact, Nidhu, while people are bringing this in, I did want to bring this up. I know I would like joined at the last minute. So decrees are the language of light. And I hope Nitika is here because she had asked this question on one of the calls. And I made a slight error, and I said, yes, like light healing frequencies are also a language of light, because I was looking at from a different perspective, from a different angle. I wasn't looking at it as a language, right? Because language is communication, the written and spoken word, which is what the decrees are. So the decrees are like the language of light, period. So Nitika, I hope you're here and I'll clear this up. And I meant what I said then also. As I said, I was looking at it from a different angle.
Correct. You took the big picture energy of language of light.
Correct. Right. Not like, yes, like, yeah, exactly that. And I'm glad I got that out. People have also gotten the opportunity to put their posts in. And Nitika is here. So she says, getting closer to the highest versions of ourselves. And Poonam says, right brain activity. Healing is releasing the wounds, changing habits, perspective, attitude, and karma. There are others who've written in. Vaishali says, healing is feeling better internally, which radiates in the exterior. Tushar says, healing is removing energy blockages to achieve your full potential. Aman says, healing is being devoid of anxiousness. Sunita again says, the process of becoming whole and healthy again. Sajana says, healing for me is feeling better within myself and accepting everyone as they are without expectations. Vinita says, process of restoring balance, health, and well-being to the body, mind, and spirit. Shalini says, healing means getting to feel better, or can be said, can be medicine to your problems. Deepali says, healing to me is to accept the situation and change my response to it. Lekni says, healing is at the soul level when you feel one with yourself, complete congruence. And it's going on. Neha says, feeling of balance within us, relaxed, removing energy blocks. Raj says, healing means freedom from physical body. Shruti says, healing is something to be back to, be your true or good self. And Noha says, healing is changing your state of being, low or sick, to better state being. And there are a lot of new names that have written these things in. Lot of new names. Like I can see a lot of old names who've written in, but I can see a lot of new names. And Sonia says, healing means everything. It's a feeling.
You're all right. There is one person she's a family life doctor from the previous program. So she has gotten it bang on. But the thing is that all healing is a healing of wounds. All healing is about getting relief, ease, and a cure for what is paining, for what is aching, for what is bleeding, for what is hurting, for what is suffering. Healing is an attitude to life, because things will always happen. Healing isn't about getting what you want. Getting what you want is manifestation. But how can you manifest what you want when you're wounded? If you have knee pain, is that the time you're going to be thinking of winning the marathon? If you have a headache, okay, bad headache, is that the time you're going to be thinking about making $1 million? And if you are anxious and drowning in overwhelm, is that when you're going to be thinking about job and partner and new city and new home? No. You cannot. When you know that healing has to be part of your daily life, then as you heal, things will manifest. As you manifest, you will heal more. As you heal more, you will manifest better. Heal your wounds, and your life will become not just better and brighter, but greater and grander. That's all that you have to do.
Right. So, Nidhu, as you said, healing, it's about healing the wound. So, anxiety is the wound?
No.
No?
No. No. Anxiety is not the wound. Anxiety is the symptom of the wound. At the outset, I have to say this before I tell you what anxiety is. Anxiety is not a mental illness. It is not even mental, but it could be called an illness because in Western medicine, our biology is chemistry, as if we are a composite of chemicals and chemical reactions, and our chemistry does go off primarily in the serotonin and dopamine levels in our brain. And what medicine tries to do is handle that. And so because there is a pill for it, we put it as an illness, but it is not. I want everybody to take just 10 seconds to please recognize this. It's not a mental illness. It is not even an illness. It does things that make us feel a certain way, but it is not a mental illness. I want all of us to be absolutely clear about this, because there is so much shame and blame and judgment around getting help for anxiety. There's so much angst around, let us say, taking medicine. If you're on medication, superb. Keep it going, and thank you for showing up to try this work. If you have done the test of 76 symptoms and you have more than half, chances are you will need some light medication. Let there be no shame to that. Let there be no judgment to that. Let there be only gratitude and thanks that we live in a world that has options and solutions that allow us to feel better. But before we go there, and before we diagnose that for anybody else, I'm going to tell you what anxiety is. And I want you to check the truth of what I'm about to say. I'm going to digress for 45 seconds. The first stage of healing is acknowledgement. And when I tell you what anxiety is, I'm going to ask you to acknowledge it 10 times. And in acknowledging it, what it really is, you will see you are already feeling better. For those of you all suffering for a long time, and if you have a reaction, that's when you got to squeeze your squeezy. Because the thing with anxiety is that it is so inside that the simplest solution is actually to bring it outside. That if I can just bring my attention to my hand squeezing, or I look outside, okay, there's a bottle. Okay, there's crystal. Oh, there are some plants. The moment I brought it outside, you will feel better. But I'm not going to wait for you to feel worse. First, I'm going to ask you to try that with me, especially for those of you who are great sufferers. And great sufferers means things are happening in the body, but it's also the head that's gone off, right? Can't stop the racy, pacey, hasty, wasty thoughts. I'm going to come to that. But first, I just want you to look at anything in front of you. Look at my, oh, by the way, people, Nidhu is my sister. Look at my gorgeous sister. Look at your neighbor. Look at what's on the right side of you. It's not my right, but sorry. Look at what's on the left side of you. Look at what's on the right side of you. Look at the ground. Look outside of you. And in 10 seconds, your shoulders will calm down. Your breath will ease up. Anxiety brings us into ourselves in very trapped ways. So the moment you take your attention outside, you will feel better. Try it, everybody. Tell me how you are before I tell you what anxiety is, and then ask you to say it 10 times with me.
And also while that's happening, and people, if they're writing in, with the how anxiety reveals itself, there was a poll that people had participated in also. So I do have certain results in with whatever active participation has happened till the evening. So let me know when you want to know about that.
Okay. We'll look at it. We'll come to it because we're going to work on some of the things from that list. And we're going to work on it today.
Right. Have you asked, you did say, right, let me know how you're feeling, as in, are your shoulders down? Are you relaxed?
Yeah.
So either everybody's feeling really good because nobody's written in, or
they're taking time to focus
outside. Time to focus outside. Yes.
Right. In the meantime, actually, you know what? Let's give it 15 seconds of silence, because that's another thing an anxious-ridden brain cannot handle. But let's do it. Start time.
Priya has said relaxed, and AR has said feeling good. Gaga has said, I can see, but I can't hear. Gaga, just disconnect and come back on again, because we're all very much audible. Lakshmi Priya says, feeling better.
Good. Good. Right. So that's number one. So what? 2 things, right? After I ask you to say it 10 times, 2 things. Number one, you're going to bring your attention outside. And second, you're going to start squeezing, because that also brings your attention outside. Break it, crack it. It's okay. Squeeze. Okay. Shall I tell you what anxiety is?
Dipali says distracted.
Distracted. So squeeze something.
And Noah says, when focusing on our surroundings, we acknowledge gratitude and come out the actual state we were in. Come out of the actual state we were in.
What you give attention to grows. So if you will not give it attention for a moment, it will stop growing. It'll give you some relief. If you're giving attention to something else, that is not as threatening. Okay. First, I repeat, anxiety is not a mental illness, but don't be afraid of medication. If required, it will help. What anxiety really is, really is it's too much for me to handle alone. It's too much for me to handle alone. Anxiety is a very active, terrifying fear of being alone, doing it alone, going it alone, managing it alone, handling it alone, fending and protecting yourself alone. Is fear an illness? No. Fear is Mother Nature's way of making sure we live another day. That we don't run up to bears and snakes and tigers, that we don't bungee jump without the bungee. And aloneness? Aloneness is when we were abandoned and left alone. And abandonment can take place in many forms. Neglected, overlooked, rejected, taken for granted, used, misused, abused, betrayed. All of these are forms of abandonment. Take a look at your life and tell me the truth of the sentence. It's too much for me to handle alone.
So Deborah earlier wrote overwhelm. Dipali says true.
And because, okay, we'll wait for some more people.
And earlier, Nitika had written, we come to present moment when we focus on surroundings externally, which is what you were saying, that what you pay attention to grows.
Yeah.
And Tushar also said the feeling of being overwhelmed, but he's put a question mark to it. So are you asking, or are you saying anxiety is the feeling of being overwhelmed?
It is part of it, yes.
Right.
Yes,
Lovely also says, yes, it is too much for me to handle alone.
Alone. 10 times with me. And again, check. Just like as you paid attention slightly outside or you squeezed, when you say this 10 times, something's going to come up. Maybe overwhelm will come up. By the way, one of the fastest releases for overwhelm is to cry. Because overwhelm is that suffocating pressure in the chest and lungs and heart functioning. Moment you've cried, your lungs are better. It is the best thing to do. Laughter, tears, sweat, going to the washroom, play, rest, sleep. All of these are nature's way of healing us. So don't be afraid to take medicine if required. Don't be afraid to cry. We all do it. We all have it. Because the fact is that there is nobody on this planet who hasn't been abandoned. And therefore, there is nobody who has not experienced or experiencing anxiety. For some of us, it shows up when the situation shows up. And when the situation goes off, it also goes off. For some of us, it's become a way of life without us even realizing it. And for some of us, it's so terrible, it's so chronic that it makes us want to give up everything. But before I tell you a little bit more about that, 10 times with me, it's too much for me to handle. It's too much for me to handle alone. Sorry. It's too much for me to handle alone. 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 It's too much for me to handle alone.
I'm going to wait for people to respond. And earlier, Archana, Naya, Lekhni, Tanuja, Aloha, everyone wrote true, feeling overwhelmed. And Nitika about crying also. Nitika wrote how true, Nidhu. I nowadays just cry and don't overthink it. I cry and I'm fine after that.
Awesome.
And Dipali's written in, she feels like screaming.
Okay.
Squeeze.
Squeeze, squeeze, and you are on mute anyway. If you're in a safe place, scream.
Right.
Yeah, because
sorry.
There's an inherent relationship between anxiety and anger. And between today, Thursday, and Saturday, we're going to cover it all.
Oh, and tomorrow also, we will let them know why tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow as well. There's something happening tomorrow.
Jayashi says, almost tears in eyes, feels relaxing. Lucille says, I sing when I'm stressed. Vaishnavi Pratima, did I get this? Yes. Feeling light, she says, and I'm checking. Right. And AR said, agreed to, yes, it is too much for me to handle alone.
Alone. The word being alone. A baby knows this. A fetus in the womb knows this. A child knows this. Teenagers know this, and by God, teenagers know it the best. Adults know this. We cannot survive alone. And therefore, if we have been abandoned and in that moment we are alone, it is also the fear of death. Look at the symptoms of anxiety. Dry mouth, racing heartbeat, palpitations, fibrillation, knots in the stomach, breathlessness. Mind just either it's blanked out completely or it's so hyper and startled that it's trying to look here, it's trying to look there, it's trying to look there, it's trying to look there, it's trying to look there. We fear we're going to die, which is why for those of us who've been suffering a long time, we get suicidal because we say, "Acha, aa jao na fir, ho jao na fir." Let it happen. Let it go, because it's the fear of death. It's the fear of life, because I don't know when the next attack will come. I don't know when I'll be abandoned next. I don't know what I will have to do alone next. It is the fear of living. It is the fear of responsibility. It is the fear of being given jobs we don't have the competencies and capabilities to do. That's why we're dying, right? Because what is the problem with aloneness? Tell me, please, what is the problem with aloneness? And are we ever really alone? Food on your table. Thousands of people involved in that coming. So what is the problem with aloneness? We are not capable, competent. We don't have the training for this particular situation we are in. Whatever this situation is, perhaps you're divorced. Perhaps you're still recovering from the death in a family. Perhaps you are looking after a parent. Perhaps, where, by the way, now the parent has abandoned you, right? Because now you're the parent to the parent. I remember in a yoga class, halfway through, our teacher went out. Cheers, everybody. Not because our teacher went out, but because I felt a little thirsty. Our teacher went out to take a call, and she came back, put her phone on the corner, turned to us and said, 108 Surya Namaskars, everybody. We didn't make that call. We're not the ones who did this. What did she do? She abandoned us. In that moment, right, where you cannot be present and available, abandonment takes place. And therefore, when we don't have someone present and available for us, when we don't have our village, when we don't have our tribe, when we don't have our family, we always feel abandoned, whatever the reason. Therefore, it's not logical sometimes when you take a look at your situation and you're having anxiety or you're having overwhelm because you don't recognize that what it really is it's too much for me to handle alone. My team knows if they send me an Excel sheet, I will reply next year. My COO, Amrish, soul of patience, Shilpa, Neelu, either they have to explain it to me or they have to read it out to me. And couple, maybe 1.5 years back, I was like, it's an Excel sheet. And when I look at it, right, I recognize that what was going on for me, right, when I'm looking at boxes and my attention is inside the box, I am feeling pinned down. I'm feeling like there's a knee in my stomach and a hand pressing down on my chest. I feel caught in the boxes. I cleared it. It's not so bad, but either Shilpa or Neelu still has to read it out to me. The logic of where it happens is not so important as the fact that it's something I can't handle alone. I can't do this on my own. Where will I go? What will I do? Who will I turn to? There's no one for me. My God, if I don't have household help, and clearly I'm talking about India, if I don't have household help, I won't have anybody. And just by the way, ask any Indian woman what she goes through when the maid doesn't show up. Because in that moment, why are we overwhelmed? Is it such a big deal? It's our house. We'll manage. We know where everything is. And yet overwhelmed because it's too much for me to handle alone. And if you have a bigger house, all the more anxiety, all the more panic, all the more overwhelmed. I have done sessions to attract and manifest good maids. I have done sessions where the maid has been behaving badly. I have done sessions where the maid has ghosted the person because it's important enough to us. Does this require the term illness? Does this require shame? Does this require blame? Does this require judgment? No. Can we all show our anxiety some love?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I want a yes in capital with an exclamation mark.
Get
And
time.
then I want everybody to say cheers after that.
That's a capital Y, capital E, capital S, exclamation if
You can underline it. Underline it as well. Put it in color, put it in color. If you have the yes emoji, put the yes emoji because I'm going to show you a 5-second process for it. I repeat, 5 seconds. I repeat, 5 SECONDS. By the time I say seconds like that, you'll know the process. Who's excited?
Everyone, the yeses are pouring in with exclamation, double exclamation.
Bring it on, bring it on. Give
emojis.
it to me. Don't forget the cheers.
Yes.
And this is how simple it is. You all know this, and I think this is also just some years old, but it also tells me that the world is ready for more love. You know this, right? Everybody knows this, right?
Yes.
Now, anxiety usually happens in our head, of course, between here to usually about mid-stomach. For those of us who've lived with anxiety long enough, or those of us who've been so embarrassed that we've ignored it and have gotten numb, in any case, we don't feel it, but the maximum activity around it, unless you have an upset stomach, is around the belly to the head. So here is what we're going to be doing. And it's as simple as this. And after this, I would like you all to stand and do it. Those of you all who can't stand, you're just going to sit and do it. Okay? So everybody, hands together. And please make the heart till your knees. Bring your palms, your fingers together at your knee and give it 1 second and see how it makes you feel. 1 second only.
This all, I mean, obviously with all due respect everywhere, it literally reminds me about of the Namaste in Bharatanatyam.
True,
You know,
true. Except you're making the heart. It is impossible that your breath didn't want to become deeper. It is impossible that your lung is not reacting. And now, those of y'all who can stand, you're going to stand and do it. Those of y'all who are sitting, you are going to do it from top. So everybody, this is my hand on top. And you're going to open up the sides of the heart and you're going to bend down, bend your knees, please, and meet your hands at the base of your feet. And sit down and tell me, how's your torso feeling?
and Dipali earlier wrote continuous yawns, and Deborah wrote heart and throat feel open. And I can see Deepa standing and doing it, and Samina sitting and doing it. Neha is also sitting and doing it. Yes, and the rest who I can spot on video now. I think I've already done it. Yeah, so and Vesh and Naya, Brunda, Julie, everybody, write in how you're feeling. Shruti is written deep breath. Julie's given
5
emoji.
seconds, actually 3 seconds as you practice it, even 2 seconds, and you're better. Can I please recount everything we've understood so far? Because, you know, one of the things in anxiety is also forgetfulness. And why is it forgetfulness? You're going to understand anxiety completely. So anything at all outside, squeeze. It's too much for me to do alone 10 times. Heart. Now you're going to do the heart in the body part that is most impacted when you have overwhelm, anxiety, and panic attacks. If it's your head that's going mad, just make your little heart here. If it's your chest, just make a heart here. If it's your stomach, begin here and make the heart till your groin. Go ahead. Give that part of you some love physically.
And just to tell you what everybody else wrote, Sonia wrote in feeling love full. And she's obviously a degree student because I can see how she's written love full with the F-U-L-L in capital. And Aloha says burped. Naya says relaxed breath. Vaishnavi Pratima says feeling super clarity. Vaishnavi Pratima is definitely new on the call because this is a name I'm coming across for the first time. And it's a lovely name, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something it's almost lyrical, you know. Lakini says deep breath. Sunita says my back pain seems to have lessened considerably. Interesting, especially if Sunita was sitting and doing it and had to bend forward.
True.
So,
True.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, Sunita, let us know if you sat and bent forward and did it, or you stood in either which way you would have had to bend down. So, right. Okay. Tanuja actually feeling good, feeling some good energy while doing it. Neha says feeling relaxed. Sonia says feeling loved, self-love. Poonam says feeling of release. Nitika says this reminds me of the time I was most anxious and I felt so thankful to anxiety for taking care of me at that time in whatever way was possible at that time. It's like giving love to it. And Pratishta says it really feels good. Prema says she's short in breath and long out breath naturally through the mouth. And the torso is feeling like it's receiving space.
Good.
Tia says amazing. I'm all smile and okay, that's not the name. Sadhguru Tera Asra is how the name shows. Feeling good. And AR also says feeling good.
My promise was.
He's asked how many repetitions?
I'll tell you. I'll come to that. What was I saying? Yeah.
You said your promise was 5 seconds?
And 2 minutes.
And 2 minutes.
What's happening, people? Have you ever experienced anything faster?
Right. And Sunita stood and did it, by the way.
Wow, with her back not feeling good. Nice, great job, well done. Do it one more time, sitting. See what happens.
So, Picky, are you asking repetitions for what was said earlier, or repetitions of the heart? Because it's been done once from here till the knees, then
Whole body.
the whole body from top of the head till the bottom, or if you're sitting from top of the head till you're there
Feet.
again, and then to the body part. So that's 3 times already.
Yeah.
Now, what have you said to do it again for, Nidhu?
3 is a really good number
3
for the body process. Now, let us say, the moment your breath starts leading, which is what happens with this, your breath starts leading, right? Have you noticed? You suddenly became aware of how your chest was, how your breath was. Allow your breath to settle down. And once your breath is settled down, you check in with you. Would you like to do it again? Do it again. Would you rather let it be for a while and do it later? Do it later. One of the greatest things about working with the decrees is, apart from saying it exactly how it is being said, there are really no rules and no restrictions. You want to do it only once, you do it only once. You want to do it 5 times, you do it 5 times. However, don't do it more than 5 times. You won't need to. So catch yourself in the moment that you don't make it an OCD. Because everybody with anxiety knows, right? Once we get on that hamster wheel, we are not getting off.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I
Jess
will
says,
Yeah.
goosebumps and continuous yawning. And Sunita says she just did it again while sitting. Pratishta says, it works nice, feeling great. I'm feeling fresh now and happy as well.
See, I told you in advance. Cheers.
Cheers. And Gaga is unable to hear until now. Gaga, did you? Oh, if you can't hear me, what?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
In fact, I just realized that even the last time I said I'm very sorry. I'm just going to text Gaga back. Just give me a moment. Really, I'm laughing at myself right now. Can't hear us? No, we're all very audible.
Correct. आप बाजार जा रहे हो? नहीं, मैं बाजार जा रहा हूँ. अच्छा, मैंने सोचा बाजार जा रहे हो. It's one of our favorite jokes from our childhood and still makes us smile.
Okay, I've responded. Okay. Also, please check if you put yourself on mute. Like, your computer or your phone.
Can happen.
Right. People, when I say things like, it's not meant to mean that you don't know what you're doing, but it happens sometimes. Okay, I'll tell you exactly how it happens. When was this? Yesterday? Or was it this morning? No, I think it was yesterday. Nidhu and I, okay? Nidhu, I can't hear you. And I'm waiting patiently in silence. Nidhu is talking. 10 minutes she's spoken. And then she's texting me, I can't hear you. I said, I can't hear you. So what is going on? So things happen.
It happens. It often happens in a period called retrograde. And when a planet goes retrograde, it's an optical illusion, but it does interfere with our digital world. It also interferes with our emotional and mental world as well. It interferes with our traffic jams. It interferes with emotional situations, relationships. It does play a role. And one of the usual suspects on this, where it happens the most, is Mercury retrograde. But along with Mercury, another planet, actually his elder brother, because it's a higher octave of Mercury, is Uranus. And Uranus just went retrograde on Sunday. And both of them are head planets. So if we have more stuff going on in our heads, not that they cause it, they do not cause it, they do not create it, they reveal it. Because they're telling us, listen, your head is working like this. But the thing about Uranus is that he is an absolute wild child, rebel with a cause. He gave us the decree of why not. So this month, make the intention, make the, however you can make the commitment, because that's also not very simple. Make the intention, why not? From anxiety to awesome. Anxiety, freedom. Anxiety, freedom. Anxiety, freedom. Anxiety, freedom.
And even though it is still too soon to bring this up, but I am going to say this anyway. And if you do pick up the work, you will be working with and around the Uranus retrograde as well. Hello, hello. I let a little bit of the cat out of the bag. Okay. All right. And people also writing in. Deborah says, did the heart to my stomach and still felt some anxiety. So held my hands there and repeated, the universe has my back 3 times, which helped. Again, Deborah has done decree work with you. So the universe has my back. Pravina says she started crying even before she did the heart shape. Twinkle says, this is just what I needed. I had the little heart biscuits too after the activity. As in she ate the, I will not take the name.
Love it.
Right. And Noah says, what's the definition of decrease? And she's written as in DECREASE because we are saying decrease. So she's heard decrease.
Oh my
decrease.
Oh dear.
Right.
Quickly, team, please to rectify this mortifying situation.
And no, she's worded like, yeah. So she says she's still yawning and relaxing after she stopped doing it. She wants to sleep and relax now.
Please do. Every reaction has to be honored. You feel like closing your eyes, you close your eyes. You feel like moving away from the call, move away from the call. You have to go to the washroom, you go to the washroom. You're hungry, you eat. Every reaction has to be respected.
And Vaishnavi Pratima says, I did for my head and it is feeling super light and organized in the head. I am feeling clarity again. You know what, Nidhu, here's the thing, all right? Because I just spotted the time. We are almost an hour into the call, okay? Almost an hour. It's 7:20 right now. We might have started 3 minutes late, leaving that aside, but we're just giving it a round figure, okay? Hour in, and we haven't touched anything as a topic per se, apart from the fact that this is too much for me to handle alone, which in its, and you know what, I can see Vesh nodding her head. And Vesh, if you're on the group, type in, is there really anything else you need to know right now? Really, look at the work. People, it's a rhetorical question. There's lots you need to know. What I'm saying is, in an hour, I'm saying hour, but the work has taken only seconds. There's been an understanding of something. There's been all these responses and reactions everybody's had. And we haven't even gone into a deeper understanding of anxiety.
True.
Okay, we haven't even gone into, forget the 2 words, even the 4 words.
True.
And already so much is happening.
Correct.
Already so much is happening.
Correct.
So people, imagine, when you actually do the work, what all can happen? I'm putting the layers in the tin can for it to bake towards the offer.
Correct.
Right. And yes.
And so have we all agreed there's nothing faster?
There is nothing. Yeah. Nobody is. Yeah.
Awesome.
Like it'll be, I challenge you to say no.
Correct.
I challenge you to not say yes. No, I was being silly there.
Which also happens sometimes. And I'm just filling
No,
up.
I made it like I was aiming for a double negative.
Right.
To make it the positive. But you know how sometimes things just sound right in your head, but by the time you verbalize it, you realize that, oh no. So that
all the time. Like in our head, it's perfect, right? Which is also why it's such a lovely place for all of us to live in, right? Because in the head, everything is possible.
Right.
And how you think about it in your head, by the way, that is also true for bad things. It never takes place like that. It never goes like that. Okay, here and there, rarely it does. most of the time, 9.9 times out of 10, it is not at all like how you thought it would be. Assumptions, presumptions, educated guesses, worries, because worry is all about living in your head and prophesizing what can go wrong. Your worries haven't come true. So what are you doing with worry? I will come to that. But first, in that list of 76, I asked for your top 3. And the reason I asked for your top 3 is that, by the way, there are about 100 symptoms, right? I wanted to make the list a little shorter. I couldn't make it shorter than 75, which is why you notice that some points had number of things together. I wanted the top 3 because it's like an army. It's like the army has generals and the army has the commander-in-chief. So if we get the commander-in-chief and 2 of the top generals, this army is going down. And so your top 3 will actually have quite a bit of the other symptoms as well. But in this top 3, what I want you to see is what happens when you work with just one. So I wanted your top 3, one for the commander-in-chief and the generals, but we're going to work on the commander-in-chief, which means we're going to work on your number 1 from that list of 76. And then you will see how the other 2 also are collapsing or disintegrating.
Right.
Ready? Now, do not write this in the group. Write it on your tearable page. If you don't have a tearable page, write it on the group, but don't post it.
Wait, write it to yourself on WhatsApp.
Yeah, write it to yourself on WhatsApp. But write it. Or cut, copy, paste.
And just incidentally, Nidhu, this is just information. As I said, I've not checked it recently, but the last I checked, I think just some minutes into the call, we were at 18% people dealing with none, 36% dealing with less than half, and 46% dealing with more than half. Yeah. I've not done an immediate recent check. This is from a while ago.
Right.
I don't know, because I didn't bother to check again, because if we're all actively involved here, I don't think anybody's doing the poll right now. And please don't go there also. Just stay.
Yeah, please don't go there also.
Yes.
Those of y'all who said none, I hope you're on the call, because we would love to hear about your fabulous life. Those who said less than half, you must definitely give this work a complete shot, because this work is going to go on till about mid-November. Because, there's so many layers, there's so many places to work, there's so many factors involved in this wound of abandonment. And to work through them is going to take us some time. Those of y'all who are practitioners, it is impossible that people are showing up without anxiety. And if you take a look at that list, it's covering quite a few of the clients who are showing up. Those who've said more than half, definitely give this work a shot, but stay open to medicine. If you don't know a good place to go to get tested, we will give you a couple of numbers after the call. Right now, with me, with each other, take a look at your number 1 and number 2 and 3. Yeah.
Sorry, very quickly, Sanita is asking again, what are we writing? Because we've also said don't go back to the list right now. So
no, you can go back to the list, but don't do the poll right now.
Don't do the poll right now. Right. So Sanita, the 76 points, your top 3 from there.
Yeah.
This is for everyone.
Yeah. And if you don't know that 76 list and you don't have it right now, just write down your top 3 worst things about your anxiety.
Or maybe even a trigger for it.
Okay.
And Dr. Priyanka and Noha have asked again, what is the decrease? And so, Nidhu, as you are, of course, the OG with it, and as the receiver of it, if I may just say it very simply, a decree is a law. It's a command. Okay. And it's words. It's words. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, depending. Just words that are used in a certain manner which make it medicinal, which makes it a command that you're giving. You don't just say it, you command it. Decree. Judge, gavel, knock, that's the decree.
That's
If that is not clear enough, Nidhu, please add to it.
So we are in the matrix, we are in the force, and the force is a universal consciousness or even super consciousness that holds the galaxy together, that holds multiple galaxies, multiple universes together. It is light. It is like the sun. The sun doesn't say, oh, you're not a good person, I will not shine on you. It doesn't say, oh, you're a good person, I'm going to shine more on you, thank God. This universal consciousness, this force, this superconscious, this light, this eternal light, the decrees are able to access this faster than anything else in the world. And there are certain principles that we use in the decrees. For example, I asked you to say the problem 10 times. It's too much for me to handle alone, but we felt better. Because when you understand the principles that we use in the decrees, you will see why this made sense and how this made you feel better. And that's why the decrees are the language of light. On today's call, that light is called the force. And we are awakening the force within. So today, it is the language of the force.
Right. And as we go, and Sunita's written, I hope everybody's written. And as we head into this, Nidhu, where you're obviously taking us through the decrees.
Yes.
You and for everybody on the call, may the force be with you.
Thank you. And thank you, Yoda. For everybody who got that Star Wars reference. Awesome. Okay. So here's the thing. And we have a separate group for anxiety. And we have more than, I think, 200 people there. And one of the things that starts happening on a group like this, right, where we are dying, right, and we're sharing our dying. I can't handle, we're not saying that actively, but it's, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, kuch karo, please help me, etc. There's invariably somebody or the other who will step in. Even for us, right, when we see somebody, because remember, anxiety is the fear of dying. Anxiety is the fear of death. Because the symptoms mimic, that's what's happening to the body. The symptoms mimic that the body is under grave, terrorizing threat. But it could just be an Excel sheet that needs to be looked at. And we will do that. Where it means that because there's the fear of death, and you've put down a need on the group, and even us, right, when we look at people like that and they're overwhelmed and they're so vulnerable in that moment, everybody wants to step in and help. Right? So everybody, whatever it is that you are saying, do this, do that, try this, I try that, I try this, don't worry, don't be scared, or God is with you. Something or the other, right? We sweep in to help. And I will repeat, all of us have been abandoned in some way or the other. All of us know anxiety. I doubt that there is anybody in the world who does not know overwhelm or who has not had, if not a panic attack, an anxiety episode. We all know it. We all respond to it. Therefore, the decree I'm about to give you is a collective decree. A collective decree means I'm going to be acknowledging that it is there for everyone. Yes? Everybody's ready? Are these the two words? No. But try it anyway. And this is what you're going to say just 5 times. You know what? Say it only 3 times. See how you feel, and then say it twice more. Ready? Ready?
Yes.
Everybody is releasing their anxieties, and so am I. Everybody is releasing their anxieties, and so am I. Everybody is releasing their anxieties, and so am I. You've heard it twice, now you say it. The decrees have to be spoken. So say it. After practice, you can start thinking it, whispering it. If you're in a public place and you can't say it out loud, then of course, please whisper or think it, but they have to be spoken. Cheers again. And that's your setup. Now, a setup sets you up for the main event. Still not the 2 words, but just say this 3 times. Tell me how that made you feel.
Right. And as they put that in, Sunita says, even those who come from loving families still feel abandonment.
Yes. Which loving family is this? That has never criticized their child, that has never scolded their child, that has never threatened their child, that has never treated another sibling a little differently from the present sibling. Which family is this? Please tell us. We want them all on Thursday's call.
Right. Dipali says, I felt not alone.
Good. Good.
Neha says she's feeling suffocating near the throat.
Please make the heart look outside, squeeze.
Naya says, felt relief all over. Nitika says, feel very supported now after the decree. I no more feel alone.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Noha says, Amani's who's Amani? Is this a family as described as Nidhu was asking? Please tell us who this is. Noha, I've not understood. Please let me know. Okay, just checking. I can see people are typing in. And AR says, feel supported. Tushar says, feel strong sensations for a few seconds behind the head.
Excellent.
Right.
That's your ancestral. So there is some ancestral program of aloneness and abandonment going on here. Does your family have any history of famine or war?
Are you asking Tushar?
Yeah.
Right. And it would be interesting to see what he has to say, because and I remember the name because I think new on the summits, because there was a constant question about I can't imagine. I do not know how to imagine. I am more, logical than this. Will this work for me? So Tushar, I don't know if you've picked up any of the other work or not, but seems like you finally landed up where you were supposed to be.
Come.
So he's written,
रोएंगे एक साथ हंसेंगे और एक साथ force को awaken करेंगे.
Right. And ancestors' displacement from their native place, he says.
Right.
I feel there is a shared humanity, says Priya.
Wonderful.
And no one is guarded from suffering or anxiety. I am not an isolated case.
Fantastic. And now you can see, right?
Vaishnavi Pratima says she has a feeling of pain in the left calf.
Pain in the left calf. Yeah. So just make the heart shape around it and start sipping water. All pain carries dehydration. If you have a tendency to pain.
Okay. Sorry, a few more have written in, Nidhu, and I know you've said make the heart, but let me just bring this up anyway. Kadambari said, I feel sensation on the top of my head. Lekhni says she's like feeling a slight palpitation. Samina saying there's lots of pain behind her head.
Got it. Because it's behind your head, you will just make the heart in front of your face. But please start drinking water.
Right. And Katrina says, I could finally stop crying.
I'm glad. I'm glad. But I'm also very glad you cried. I am more glad you cried than that you stopped. You're healing yourself. That is the body's natural mechanism. There's nothing wrong with crying. It's so good. It's so good. Okay. That was the setup, right? Now, when you feel, you immediately have the sense of bonding, right? You immediately have the sense of connection around you. Now, when I give you this, it'll be so easy for you to say because we've done the setup. And here's what it is. This is 2 words, but it's not the 2 words that I'm going to give you. But this is also 2 words. And these 2 words are releasing everybody's anxiety, releasing mine. This we're going to do 5 times. Releasing everybody's anxieties, releasing mine. 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 You have to stay hydrated because the energy shift with the decrease is so rapid that if you don't stay super hydrated, you will get a headache, you will get brain fog, you'll get a sense of pressure somewhere in the body. The energy is trying to move, it's trying to leave, it's trying to release, it's trying to transform, it's trying to change, it's trying to transmute. It needs water to do it.
Right. And
water also carries our messages to each and every cell faster than anything else. You have to stay hydrated, super hydrated. Yeah, please say.
I also just wanted to bring to everyone's attention that it was around 1939, not the year, I'm looking at the time, 739, when you started saying you said, we're going to say this 5 times, releasing everybody's anxieties, releasing mine. And you'd finished it 5 times, and you were saying other things. By the time you finished saying the other things, then 1 minute got over, which means the decrease took less than 5.
Less than a minute.
Less than a minute.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Also, so when we say it's the fastest mover and shaker in the world, it's the fastest transformative language in the world. It's the fastest high vibration language in the world. It's the fastest language of action in the world. It is also with the process itself. So it's not like we're taking 1 hour to set up an assembly line and then the result is in 1 minute. Almost everything is happening, well, at the speed of the force.
Right. Roshni is written in, I'm a Sindhi. My grandparent and uncle had to leave Sindh, Pakistan during the war and restart their life in Bombay. And from there, they shifted to Chennai. When I was born, the joint family separated. So could it be the reason why I feel abandonment?
Oh, yes. Guaranteed.
DNA imprinted, no?
DNA imprinted, absolutely. It's autobotting. You will. And not only, okay, so here's the thing, right? In the Autobots, everybody, please, when you have time, please listen to the family light doctor calls. They will be there and we'll send it with a replay as well. The understanding of Autobots, right? Where some programs are just coming down because it's not crossed anybody's mind to question them. So very quickly, although I want the results of how everybody felt with releasing everybody's anxieties, releasing mine, I'm just going to give you the universal formula, which is done in a little more detail in Family Light Doctor. And the universal formula is mother plus father equals child. My mother plus my father equals me. If you have anxiety, I guarantee they have it. If they have anxiety, you will have it. And if they have anxiety, means their parents had anxiety. We are truly not alone. We feel like that in that moment because that is the power of abandonment. Because that is the power of us knowing, hey, I can't make it on my own. And even though in anger, especially with loved ones, we've said all kinds of things, right? Fine, go, who cares? You think I can't manage without you? That's right, you cannot. But this program of anxiety, it is generational. You will have, if you have an anxious mother, you will have acidity. You will have anxiety. You will have arthritis. You will have ADHD. Every generation, it becomes worse because nobody's looking at it, right? Everybody's just living with it. Everybody's just passing it on. If your mother has anxiety, if you have anxiety and you have children, please work on your anxiety. You will spare them so much suffering. And look at your parents. Take a look. I guarantee you, your anxiety is exactly identical to one of your parents or both your parents. Your thought process is also identical to either one or both parents. Your behaviors in the relationship with this anxiety and insecurity is identical to either one or both parents. Right. So when we do this work, when I said, tell me the setup, Neelu.
So the setup was everybody's releasing their anxieties, and so do I 3 times, and then 2 more times after that.
Right. And so am I. Yeah. Everybody's releasing their anxieties, and so am I. Who is this everybody? Do you know everybody?
Your mother and father.
It is your family. And yet, and not that you know everybody in your family, right? Some people you haven't met for 10 years. Some people you never want to meet again. Some people you have done katti with long time back. Some people you wish you would meet, but they don't want to meet you. Who is this? How did it work? And again, my lovelies, because we have limited time together, sometime today, sometime tomorrow, but tomorrow is not an audio call. Tomorrow is the cone of silence and stillness.
Which they don't know about yet.
You're right. Okay, I'll come to that. Day after is our next call. Saturday is our other group call. It's still too little time, right? Which is why you got to spend time till November. You got to go through 8 calls. You got to go through 8 trainings. You got to go through 8 receivings of healing. And then it'll start falling into place. Right? Even when we said, right? What's our decree right now? And this is a test. I'm testing all of y'all. Did y'all make notes?
So releasing everybody's anxieties, releasing mine into 5 times.
Into 5.
Here's the thing, Nidhu. Earlier when you said, when this collective, everybody is releasing their anxieties, and so am I. Sunita had actually put a question in between. So Sunita, I hope that she wrote, if I need to say this just for myself, how would I phrase it?
You would still phrase it exactly like that.
You are saying it for yourself.
You are saying it for you only. But you are not just you. You are your mother and her lineage. You are your father and his lineage. Only you have had the pleasure and joy and blessing and option and choice to be able to come to a call. Our parents didn't have it. Our
Right.
children will have even more calls. Our children will have even more options. Our children will have even more choices. Our grandparents would have would have gotten anxious at the thought of all of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but you are not just you. Your pain is not just your pain. Your fears are not just your fears. Your parents abandoned you because they were abandoned. And they were abandoned because their parents were abandoned. And again, right, we didn't think. The understanding of abandonment as part of our evolution is in Karmic Light Warrior. Both of these calls are really good to catch up on if you like to understand, if you like to see the science behind the work that we are doing today. Karmic Light Warrior is from last year, and Family Light Doctor is from 2 months back. We'll put both the call replays on the group because
There's
you,
some questions that are coming in. Sorry, Nidhu.
yeah. Please ask me.
So big, and I can see, with this, because here's the thing: when you see something working or you want something to work, then your focus is only, I should get mine done now.
Yeah.
It happens to all of us. So, however, with that said, and that's what I can see, some of those questions are like that. So I will bring them up, because you must get your questions resolved, have some kind of
Yeah,
solution to
for
it.
sure.
However, I will definitely say this, and this has happened with me also lots of times. Okay, and it's not to say that it doesn't happen even now. There are times even now, and even I don't want to just get it done. I don't want to get into it, because till you don't understand your reason for you going through that, just, you can work on it, you'll have some success rate with it, but you'll collapse back into it. No, then you'll fall back again. So understand. Okay, three keywords. One into three.
And one of the best ways to have that freedom is to know what it is that you are wanting freedom from, right? When the attack comes, I know, we just want that relief. But how will you manage that? We don't study for the exam on the day of the exam. You practice before. You practice right now on this call. You will practice on tomorrow's call. You will practice on Thursday's call. You will practice on Saturday's call. In these four calls, you will see you are doing things better for a little while.
For a certain time.
Maybe 2 days, maybe 5 days, maybe a week, maybe a month. But the practice needs to be maintained. It's like you cannot say, I will only go 4 times to the gym and then I will walk out with a 6-pack. How do you get a 6-pack? Who wants a 6-pack over here? Raise your hands. None of us raising hands. What is this? Bye, we anxious of a 6-pack, people. Okay.
Awesome. The only biscuits I want are the ones I eat. I would like I've never had, it does not bother me, but yes, I think there's a certain size it was at. I'll be very happy just going back to that.
I know what you mean.
The 6-pack is, yeah, the only 6-pack I know is the one that comes with cans of beer. So
you get to the 6-pack by having your daily practice. The secret of success is found in your daily routine. Whatever it is, even if you want to win the lottery, how do you win the lottery? You keep buying the ticket. You keep going to the lottery guy. You keep saving up to buy that ticket. You keep your eye out on the newspaper the next day. There is a practice to you getting where you want to get. And this month, remember, it's awesome. Anxiety, freedom. Why not?
Right. And Sunita's asked, so should I just, a few questions, just quickly bring them up?
Yeah.
So, when you said that the everybody, who is the everybody? It's your family. So Sunita's question was, so will she, being in Canada, feel less anxious when I say this?
Depends on her karma and her free will, because I'm so sorry, those of y'all who might have suddenly thought, oh, wow, now I can get others to do what I want. No, it depends.
Or you can take care of somebody else's anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? Because
because it's their free will. I mean, it's not that you can exercise and she will shed weight. But will she be inspired too, looking at you? Yes. Will some amount of anxiety relief happen? It should happen. But again, it depends on her karma and her free will, because that's her journey. It does impact our family for sure. In whatever way, maybe her anxiety won't get worse. It will impact our family to whatever degree. But the expectation that you change a family member, or you will be able to change a family member, again, practice makes perfect. If you're working with a family member, please practice till they get their 6-pack. Please take them for training, or take yourself for training till the 6-pack happens.
Right. And Deborah said, so if I heal this in myself, even though my children are older, will it still help them?
Oh my God, guaranteed. Absolutely. So here's the thing with, and we will see this as we go along, the umbilical cord is never cut. Mothers are always feeding their children. Who the mother is impacts the child 60 million times more. If the mother gets to be okay, I guarantee the child is going to continuously get okay. It's one of my success stories with my son. I didn't ask him to do anything. It doesn't matter how old the child is. We could be 100 years old and our parents could be 130 years old and it will still be parent-child. It won't matter. खा लिया, पी लिया, स्वेटर पहनोगे, ठंडी लग रही है, सो जाओ. बहुत देर हो गई. It'll still be that. Have you eaten? Have you drunk? Are you okay? Come back, go to sleep.
Oh my God.
But with the father, the father cord can get cut. Then with the mother, never. She will always feed you.
And Shruti earlier said, feeling pain in my shoulder and back. So water, heart.
Yeah, feeling pain, right? Let me do one for pain for everybody. First of all, I repeat, all pain carries dehydration. If you have pain, you are not drinking enough water. All decrees are adaptable. What did we do? Releasing everybody's anxiety is releasing mine. What is the adaptability? The decree is releasing everybody's, releasing mine. I can put whatever I want instead of anxieties. Releasing everybody's pain, releasing mine. Releasing everybody's pain, releasing mine. Releasing everybody's pain, releasing mine. And try this one as well. Releasing my mother's pain in me. Releasing my father's pain in me. Releasing everybody's pain, releasing mine. Just see how it makes you feel. And for pain, by the way, there's another call. I'm just sending you all to more and more calls, right? To understand pain and how to work through pain, especially when you're working through it with water and words. You can work through something only if you understand what it is. If you know this is a chair, you know you have to sit on it. If you don't know it's a chair, you will be scratching your head like that guy in The Gods Must Be Crazy, trying to return the Coke bottle to God. He thought it was a message from God. It was an empty Coke bottle that somebody threw from a helicopter after they finished drinking. And it went plunk into the middle of this tribe. And then the tribe was like, oh my God. And you can imagine how it is, right? Everybody, you have to bring it back, you have to give it back. What is this? And then one person was chosen, and that's his story. And The Gods Must Be Crazy. He's taking this empty Coke bottle back to find the correct place to give it to. So that's what we would have done if we didn't know a chair is a chair, a Zoom call is a Zoom call. Like my mother struggles, right? Which doesn't know it yet. And therefore, the problem will never get fully solved because you don't really know what it is. But if you will sit and spend some time with Zoom, Mom, you'll figure it out. It's going to be okay.
Right.
Because my mother's always on the calls. Yeah.
And Shalini and Shruti, I think, had also mentioned something about pain in their left shoulder while practicing. What does it mean? So, as you just said, Nidhu, pain is about hydration.
Yeah.
Hydrate when you're doing this work. Yeah. So, the pain coming out is a reminder, please pani pi lo. Please have water.
Yeah. Pani pi lo and direction thoda change kar lo. Because pain is always about changing direction. Pain means you are headed down the wrong path. When are we in pain? When we are walking and we bump into the wall. We're on the wrong path. Pain is a very important message and we should all take it seriously. Anxiety is also very important. We should take that also seriously. And coming back to releasing everybody's anxieties, releasing mine, please take a look at your top 3. Do they still feel as big? Are they as big? And whatever their number is right now, write it in your terrible page or your notebook, not yet on the group. On a scale of 0 to anything, 0 is not at all, any number. How big is this problem in your life now? Is it 5? Is it 50? Is it 50,000? Is it 5 million? Is it 5 billion? Is it 5 trillion? How big is this problem? And then I'm going to give you I've already given you 2 words, but I'm going to give you the maths decree. And the maths, so most of the decrees fall in certain categories, right? So you have like the karmic clearers. You have Venus's decrees, you have Jupiter's decrees, you have Saturn's decrees, which we will do quite a bit of on Saturday. And then you have the maths decrees, which includes number decrees, which includes the maths decrees themselves. You have the manifesting decrees. So I'm going to give you maths decrees. But first, write your number and take a break.
Take a break.
Powder your noses.
Okay.
For exactly 2 minutes and come back.
Nidhu, wait, hold that 2-minute break, please.
Yeah.
Very quick question. Both Sunita's mentioned my father passed away many years ago. So should I still be saying releasing my father's pain, releasing mine? And Iqbal is also asked, what if our parents are not alive?
They're alive in your DNA. They're not here in body, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Parents are everything. I'm so sorry. But they are alive in you.
Yes.
You decide which parts of them you want to keep going and which parts of them you would like to say bye to. Because our parents didn't get it right all the time. There is no parent who has everything absolutely bang on right.
And how many of us as parents can claim to have gotten it right, Nidhu?
That's true. Absolutely. And we as parents also
have
not gotten it right. It's a constant journey of unlearning, learning, relearning, unlearning again. Arey, kali to sikha tha ye. It is. So
in the, I mean, since you have mentioned that, I'm sorry, this was going to happen. I would think you would have anticipated it. So it's actually, it's Star Wars. You must unlearn to learn. This is what Yoda tells Luke when he's talking to him about mastering the Force.
Fantastic. You must unlearn to learn. Fantastic. Please post this poster if it's there, or this quote.
No, I don't have it as I do have one as a poster, which I definitely do want to share, especially with, I wanted to share that there was so much happening, but I'm still going to do it. Earlier when you, like, just a little while ago, when you mentioned that, with our parents didn't have a choice. Our grandparents had even lesser of a choice. We have the choice, because the Autobot thing, that nobody knew to question it and to make it change. So again, that's because this is happening. Your path, you must decide. This I will post this.
And even though this is Wakanda, but still,
yes.
Oh, thank you, Yoda. Thank you. People, take your 2 minutes break.
Yes.
Come back and let's take a look at what we're going to do with just 2 words on what's going on with your top 3 from the list of 76 symptoms, or your own top 3 of the worst things that are happening to you right now when it comes to anxiety, or even anything else. Actually, it will all lead back to anxiety. Exactly 2 minutes.
So 8:04. We will be back at 8:04.
I'm sure Neelu will be here in just a couple of seconds. How are we all doing?
I'm here. I'm here.
And there she is.
I'm just getting on video.
And do we all have our number?
That's my chair.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Turned out I did need to powder my nose, so thank you. So tell me, has everybody gotten their number? And is everybody ready for the maths decrees?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Whatever your number is, first of all, now put aside this page, please. And the first thing that is on that now, if it's a full list you've written down, for example, in the 76 symptoms, some of them are sentences, right? Now, those of y'all who may not have seen that list, you've written your own words down. Correct? So you're just going to say it. Remember the power of acknowledgement. You're just going to acknowledge what it is. So let us say it is overwhelm. Like there is this overwhelm, and then that is it. That's the end of the world. Everything is now life and death. And we have in that moment died 1,000 deaths. So let us say that we're dealing with overwhelm, or let us say we're dealing with worry. The whole point of worry is to stay in a negative loop. So whether you've defined it as worry, whether you define it as a recognition of how negatively we end up thinking, whatever your understanding of your first and biggest symptom, just acknowledge. You're going to acknowledge it. So I'm going to go with overwhelm. And the maths degree of 2 words and 2 words only is. I'm going to have to write it down because you must write it down properly. When you say it, you're going to say it fine. But when you write it, you must write it like this. -1. Try it. You will do this also only 3 times. You will just say your problem. If it's 1 word, say that 1 word. If it's a sentence, just say your sentence and say -1 3 times. -1, -1, -1. Please hydrate.
At the end of the sentence also, or the word?
At the end.
At the end.
Overwhelm -1. Overwhelm -1. Overwhelm -1. And then see what happens and tell us all.
Right. And Nidhu, you have been saying drink water, drink water, drink water. There is the very specific to you turbocharged water, which is why we,
Coming up.
After a very long time, we didn't do charge your water demo even before the call. So
for a reason. For a reason.
Right.
We're coming there.
Awesome.
You're going to be making your own healing water for yourself. Getting there.
Nice. So
right now, tell us what happened with -1.
And I can see people are writing, and I just Dipali yawned and screamed. Roshni, who had actually written in earlier, also saying that she's joined your work with the Cone of Silence work, and
awesome.
It's gone up the message, but I remember seeing that, and that she is, and her awareness is better, and feels more comfortable about such healings, and she thanked you. So she's written in also saying, felt a head rush. Samina had violent sneezing. Overwhelmed, fell off, says Naya. Nitika says, I realize that my problems are not so high when I rate them, but my mind makes me think they are so high that I get anxious. Maybe it's the habit. Poonam has said -1 is reducing the intensity. Nishi says, feel so relaxed and light. Thank you. Pravina says, breathing out of mouth and feeling lighter at the heart center.
And
And feeling light, feeling great, says AR.
superb.
AR Rahman is on the call with us.
Good to have you with us. Thank you for all the music. Now, take a look at that number where I asked you from 0 to however big it is. And now, on the group, please post your previous number and your current number.
On the group, right. And Nidhu, while people do that, and Shruti has written saying, I didn't feel anything. Am I doing it wrong?
No, not at all. There's a lot of numbness when it comes to anxiety. The changes are taking place, the shifts are taking place for sure. Don't worry at all. It works for everybody. Your force is awakening.
And Sonia says, it's like fading the problem area. Heidi says, another fabulous decree, love it. And Tushar said, no feeling, but had a synchronicity when I saw my favorite number in front of me. Tushar, please share your favorite number. Let us also know what you saw. Yeah. And Dipali says 100 to 30. Nishi says 8 to 10. Neha says feeling very supported. Pravina says 10 to 3. Samina says 10 before 8 now. Sonia went from 100 to 20. Angelina went 7 to 2. And this is for everybody in case you're wondering why somebody's saying 100 and why somebody's saying 10. Again, it's part of decree work. So you can make other people who've written 100 to 30 have done this, the maths decree, so to speak, with you before, but that shouldn't bother anybody else. Whatever number came to your mind, whether it was within 10 or within 100, it's okay, right?
Or within 1,000 or within billion.
Yeah, right. Neha says 100 to 25. Twinkle says 10 to 2. And Priya says, at the right place in the right time, getting out of the negative loop, as in at the right place, right time on the call. Air says out of 10, it was 10, now it is not there. So 10 to 0, basically.
How cool is that? And now, for those of y'all who it's not gone to 0 to, I'm going to tell you the immediate next logical step, wherever you've written it down on the group, over that, but you have to use both hands, just draw the heart.
Right.
And see what happens.
And Tushar has shared his numbers, 9 and 18. I'm hoping that was in reverse, Tushar.
Yeah.
18, you went to 9, not from 9 to 18.
Correct.
And he says, when I chanted anxiety -1, I started having sensations in the right shoulder.
So right shoulders or left shoulders have to do with the gender you're dealing with. Right shoulders have to do with the masculine and male gender. Left shoulders have to do with the feminine. So either the women in your life or your mother is creating some sort of friction for you, or she's becoming a burden, or is becoming heavier to tolerate her, or she's creating a lot of pressure in your life. If it's the right side, it's a male figure, brother, father, uncle, boss, employee. Somebody is causing you a lot of stress. May also be causing you to overeat. Both of you. May also be causing you to drink much lesser water. Shoulder pain always indicates even lesser water. Pain in any case indicates there's too little water. Shoulder pain means your water is not commensurate with your food.
Right. And Nitika had written 10 to -1. He also writes, feel so supported by drawing the heart on the problem. Vaishnavi Pratima says 7 to 4. Kadambari is written, oh my God, Nidhu, you don't know the day I had. I was depressed, full of fear, and that feeling, that fear has vanished. I just suddenly feel so confident.
Awesome. Awesome. That's wonderful. And I do know Kadambari's story. She has shared it on the group a few times. Not easy at all. Truly, truly an anxiety. Every anxiety is valid, but truly stressful and truly anxious days happen for her. So I'm very happy to hear that, Kadambari. So glad.
And Sonia also wrote does heart after to okay, after the heart, now it's 0 to 100 and sorry, 0 it's 100 to 0.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I am smiling.
I'm having anxiety.
And Kadambari is saying thank you to you, Nidhu. And Vaishnavi, so while you were explaining about the shoulder, the left and right shoulder, Vaishnavi Pratima says, oh my God, it's a female client causing me anxiety and I have the left shoulder pain. And I'm also looking at, yeah, so I think I have caught up on everything.
Awesome. Because so here's the other thing with the decrees and decree work. So almost every call has some body process. Today's call is going to have 2 if we have the time, or we'll do it on Thursday. So these body processes, I call it body processes, these physical processes, let me put it that way. So these physical processes, for example, this heart shape, right? The great and amazing thing about light medicine, the language of the force, the language of light, is that if you now just let it be for a couple of minutes, when you come back, that number would have dropped further. So I'm going to take you away from here to something else. And I'm going to take you to the tree of life. And the tree of life, please everybody, definitely enjoy the splendor of this tree, of this magical, enchanted tree of life. And we will put it up better in just a moment. And here it is. It's going to be on the group as well. You can see how much light it is, right? It's like the tree of force. And I know everybody has this answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What is the most important part of a tree?
The roots.
The roots.
And I almost, before you asked the question, I almost said avatar. I thought you were going to ask, where have you seen a tree like this before? We're all about the movies today as well.
Correct. Pandora, I think it was called, right?
Sorry? Pandora was the planet.
The
planet. Yeah. I forget the tribe name myself. Yeah.
Anyway, but yes, the tree of life, and they all sat and they all connected with their braids. Right. And that happened. Well, this is our own tree of life. And for our tree of life, the tree can only grow as big and as strong as the roots are. Yes, we're all in agreement with this?
Right, yes.
And one of the things that we mentioned we were going to do on the call is that we were going to talk about the root cause of anxiety. And what we didn't tell you is that it's going to be literal, because the root of the tree of life is our family. Don't change the poster.
I'm not.
Take a look.
I'll wait for you.
Take a look at your anxiety. It's too much for me to handle alone, but it's also the absence or the action of a family member or family that's creating it. Take a look. And tell me if it's true or not. Just like releasing everybody is family. Primarily our mother and our father. Our abandonment is also filial. Take a look. Is there anybody saying no to what I've just said?
No no's have come in. Dipali has said yes. And of course, everyone's like, what a beautiful tree.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it gorgeous? And
Bias
by
is
the way, we got to thank AI for it. It's an AI generated art.
bias is written. Heavenly tree looks like Kalpavriksha.
Yeah, looks like Kalpavriksha. Absolutely. Absolutely. The tree of force, the tree of life, this tree of light.
Vadhana has asked, can we take a printout and stick it?
Yes, please do. It's our group DP also. As in, for the
To
group
the work.
that's going to go on to do workshops. Yeah, please do. Please do. Please feel free. It is freely available. It is for everybody. And back to the very painful and sad truth about anxiety. Anxiety is my family is not there for me. My family does not have my back. My family doesn't support me. My family has abandoned me. Please take a look at all of this as well. None of the things that are happening with your family started last night. They started long time ago. They started when you were in the womb. They started when you were just a toddler. They started when you were a young child. They started when you were a teenager. They started when you were a young adult. They didn't start right now. And therefore, the root cause of your anxiety, because in anxiety, what we really want is for the mother or the father or the brother or the sister or the husband or the grandfather or the mother-in-law. We're looking for a family member to show up and do something for us. And that is also why anxiety gives rise to a lot of depression. Because as we keep waiting, and the anxiety is growing, but family member is not coming. Maybe here and there we become the demanding, controlling, anxious-ridden person. So for some relief in the house, a family member might do something. But for the most part, they're not. And therefore, my family has abandoned me. My family has left me alone. My family doesn't care about me becomes my family doesn't love me. And that is what depression is. Also, if medicine is required, please have it. If you are capable enough of thinking and recognizing and feeling and sensing the relief of this call, because the truth will always set us free. It is the lies that give us pain, by the way. It is the lies that give us illness and disease. Right? It's a lie right now that you're alone. Because when you did the setup, how did you feel connected? Nobody showed up. You were never alone. But who's going to tell a child that? How can you tell a child that? Anxiety is a child's experience of separation from a parent, which is so bad for the child, this child has never recovered. How many of you are waiting for someone to show up and do it for you? How many of you are waiting for someone to change? Waiting for someone to recognize you need help, you need support, you need an apology, you need flowers, you need a gift, you need help to look for another household maid or for a job. How many of you are waiting? But who waits? Only a child waits, because a child cannot do it. A child is not supposed to do it. A child does not have the capabilities, competencies, and trainings. So, first of all, I want to say hello to the child who's also on this call and who's listening. And I want to say hello to the adult who's on this call, who's made the choice to come on this call, because no child can make the choice to come on this call. And by the way, children are not welcome on this call. So hello, baby. Hello, child. Hello, teenager. Hello, young adult. And hello, the person who has shown up for the call. Anxiety is us stuck in time, waiting for a parent to show up. Let me know if this is clear or it's too much right now. Because we have spent quite some time together. Lots of energy has been shifting, and you could begin to feel tired. But tell me that this is clear if it is.
You just have to put in a yes, people on the group, if it's clear. If you have questions, ask.
Why do we feel like we're going to die? Because imagine what you're going through today in a child's body. What could that child have felt? There's no way that child is thinking while watching their parents shout, while watching their mother scold their sibling or scold them or judge them or criticize them or raise their hand on us. What is this child going to feel? He is going to feel like he's going to die. Because it feels like the mother is so angry or the father is so angry that they're going to leave me. And what does every child know? What does every baby know? What does every adult know? And what does every teenager know? We cannot survive alone. In that moment, and for those of us who've done this to our children, by all means, please say sorry. For those of you all who are doing it to your children, please stop. Just stop. That child doesn't know what is it going to do with this coursing energy in the body. I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. Now, what does the child learn?
Anxiety.
Anxiety, people pleasing. I have to give them whatever they want. Otherwise, they will leave me and I will die. You didn't die. You're here. But so terrible is what took place that it's still repeating itself again and again and again. It is the adult who's going to come and do the work, but it is the child who's going to be set free. Because when you look at this and look at your situation, right? Your situation, okay, some of these situations are not the Excel sheet. Some of these situations are truly dire. But take a look at your situation. Do you really need to make it life and death? Is it really so hard? Are you really going to die? Please write the answer down.
And before that, Nidhu, people had written yes and clear about it being clear.
Good. I'm glad.
And Pravina even said, as soon as you said, hello, child, hello, I started crying again. And Aloha says, it took me back to my childhood when I felt abandoned. Both parents left to work abroad and had to live with grandparents.
Sorry, so sorry. Them leaving, divorce happening, being sent off to boarding school. These are very big abandonment wounds. Very big abandonment wounds. So here's what happens, right? First of all, the child thinks it's going to die. How does a child process that? Now, I want to tell you one more thing that you don't know. And for some reason, doctors, well, it is possible that this part they don't know. My apologies, not that, just this part. The thing is, when the heart starts pounding, when the heartbeat races, do you know what is actually happening? I don't want you to tell me, I'm going to tell you. The heart is throwing out toxins. Your heart pounding is your blood flow increase to throw out that energy. It is not to say I'm going to die. Your heart pounding is keeping you alive. But I know Because we don't know, right? Nobody told us. Nobody told us, wow, my heart is pounding is a good sign. because our mind is not trained. Because how old is the mind? In whatever age you got stuck in at the abandonment, that's how old the mind is. What is the mind thinking? My parents are going to leave me. I'm going to recreate this situation. This time I'm going to definitely die. You are not going to die. Please don't die. Please don't even think about dying. Please don't even think about killing yourself. Understand your problem, and there will never be a problem. It is, of course, we also want to work on anxiety symptoms, but we want to work for anxiety freedom. Anxiety freedom is not anxiety symptom freedom. It is anxiety freedom. And for that, you need to understand anxiety. How many definitions do you now have for anxiety? In how many ways will you be able to now look at yourself and recognize what a terrible thing you went through, but it's over. It's gone. We have solutions to bring that calm in. And again, my lovelies, please have medicine if required. Nobody should suffer if there is an existing solution. That's just sadism and masochism. If that's your trip, okay, then that's your trip. Free will is for everybody. But what you want to do is understand that when we are so terrified of dying, when we are so scared, and can we all agree that fear is a tight energy? It's a constrictive energy. It's a restrictive energy. Can we all agree to that, please? Like fear grips us, right? What is grip? Grip is this. Like now we're taut and tight. Like our six-pack should be, but isn't. We're held by it, right? And then then it feels like something is squeezing us. Because that's what fear does, right? Because it catches us like that. So can we agree that fear is a restrictive, constrictive energy? Can we all agree?
Yep. And in fact, Nidhu, fear is the path to the dark side, as said by the master himself.
Wow. Wow. Thank you again. Thank you again, Neelu, for being Yoda's voice. This is so cool. I have no doubt you're going to do the...
I will share it.
I do or don't. There is no try.
Yeah. It's very tough love things. I wasn't sure, because everyone says everyone's in an emotional space, accepting and understanding all this, and I wasn't sure if it was the right moment for tough love. So
that's also true. So, but why am I bringing up fear? Because what do you have to understand in the tree of life? You have to understand the roots first. So if at my root, which by the way, for us would be the root chakra, if at my root, I am constricted and restricted, what is going to happen? By the way, does everybody know where the root chakra is? Is everybody familiar with the root chakra?
And Nidhu, should I just stop share?
No.
You're going to be showing your
I will, but keep this going.
Keep it, okay.
The root chakra is at our perineum, which is bang between our secret place and anus. So it's the tip of the end, or start if you want, of the spine. From the root chakra are the legs, but fear has now gripped us. What's going to happen here? Quickly tell me, what is going to happen here?
Motionless.
Stuck.
No movement.
Pain. Numbness. Swelling.
Oh my God, Nidhu. I mean, so sorry. So much back to back. I also don't want to do, but difficult to see. Always in motion is the future.
Is the future. Difficult to see always in motion is the future. Meaning, we also got to keep going. We also got to keep staying in motion so that we can also continue to move towards the future. How will you move? And not to mention, right, the fear of being abandoned, the fear that I'm not going to manage on my own, which is coming from where? Not today. From that 3-year-old. That 3-year-old will then say, you know what? I'm going to stay in this lousy job. I'm going to stay in this lousy relationship. I'm going to stay in this lousy city because I'm not alone. I have lost track of the number of decisions I have made so that I wouldn't be alone. How many decisions are you all making today just so that you are not alone? Check. So, stuck. 1,000 reasons to stay, only one to leave. Who's going to win? The reason to stay. The reason to stay stuck. And then as the fear keeps going up and moves to our orange, sacral, swadhisthana, constricted. Remember, just by the way, even though I'm doing this and feeling terrible that I'm doing this, like, I just want to tell everybody that the chakra system is not because this is a circular space in our body. There's nothing perfectly round like that in our body. It's a chakra system because its motion is circular. It's a wheel because its energy moves like a wheel. And a wheel can move like this, and a wheel can move like this. So chakras move clockwise and anti-clockwise, and they often do it simultaneously. Clockwise, they're throwing out energy. Anti-clockwise, they're pulling in energy. You've noticed how you walk into a room and you just feel amazing? Or how you meet some people and you're just exhausted. Like they just drain you, right? Vampires, drain X's. They just drain you, right? Because at that moment, your chakra could be anti-clockwise and sucking in the energy. Or their anti-clockwise is so strong, it's sucking out our energy. So chakra movement is why it's called a chakra, but there is no circular space in the body, which is why when I show you the tree of life and I tell you that this is your chakra system, it is your chakra system, because your chakra system makes your tree of life, makes your tree of light, makes your tree of force, of the force. I shouldn't say force. Force is not a great word by itself, but the force is. Now, the Swadhisthana, orange, sacral chakra is tight. What is going to happen here? Please tell me. This is the area of all of everybody's sexual organs. PCOD, PMS, uterus problems, fibroids, IBS, constipation. Because everything is stuck there, right? So what will the energy do? It has to do something. Always in motion is the future, but always in motion also is the body. Even when you're sleeping, the body doesn't sleep. I mean, the mind is supposed to sleep. Like, who keeps you up? The body is not keeping you up. Body is saying, please go to sleep. And in the decree work, the belly button area is also a chakra. And the belly button area now is tight. What will this belly button do? What is happening here? What is going on? Take a look at your belly, around your belly button, and tell me, is it tight? Is it flabby? Is it falling down? Is it protruding? Look at the pressure, right? I've not even finished the 7 chakras. Look at the amount of pressure, because how a tree grows depends on the roots. There is no way all of these are going to be okay if the root is not okay. One leg, one side is mother. One leg and one side is father. Please do the other poster. Your family, if your family abandoned you, then in the Swadhisthana, the area of my desires, what will your desire be? Your desires will be to not be alone. Please don't leave me. Your desires will be to be safe, secure, protected. But then it won't matter if you're actually safe, secure, protected, as long as number one is being taken care of, which is, please don't leave me. Or I can't leave you. Because I've seen people in pain and unwellness and illness go to work. And even though we've done a session and I'm saying, could you take the day off? Could you rest today? They've gone to work. I can't leave you. I can't leave this job. Because if I leave this job, then FOMO, somebody else will come in, whatever. Or I'll be at home alone, which is even worse. And it is truly no fun to be on your own and unwell. It is blah. What if that never happens to anybody? From there to my nourishment, the belly button. Remember what I said about the mother? It's always feeding us. But the belly button is also how we nourish ourselves. With this gripping, terrorizing, traumatizing fear from the root to the desire, what kind of nourishment are you going to be having?
Zero.
In fact, do you know how you nourish yourself? Do you know how to nourish yourself? And I'm not saying how to do a good job of it. I'm saying, do you know how to nourish yourself? Do you know what is nourishment for the self?
Well,
yes. Cry when you have tears, laugh when you're happy, eat, drink, rest, play, work. And like Neelu said right at the very start, your words, are your words nourishing you? Are your words nurturing you? Are your words making your life better or worse? And yet, what can you do? This is your state. So, in our work, and by the way, I will come to my worth, my relationship, my voice, because look at it, right? Already in the first three, we are, what is the word? We're not okay. How will the rest be okay? What will you define my worth as? From this kind of nourishment, what will worth mean to you? You might want it because by now, your mind is telling you, I should be treated better, I deserve better. And sometimes, without taking care of these bottom parts, we start saying these sentences. Bahut ho gaya. Enough. I deserve better. I deserve better. Why isn't it happening? It's a word. You are putting out an intention in the world. Every thought is a prayer. Every spoken word is also a prayer. Why isn't it happening? Because you're insisting on it. Because you're suffocating the wound. Is the wound going to bleed more? Or is it going to heal? It's going to bleed more. You have to begin at the root. You have to then work on desire, my nourishment. And from there, my worth. What is your worth here, my lovers? My worth here is how much I can please someone, how much someone will validate me. And which is not to say that you shouldn't want validation. We all want validation. We all need it. Everybody, please tell me, this is the fastest work in the world. We all want it. But my worth, how are you defining your worth? How many times I smiled. By the way, smile. Everybody smile. Smile.
smiling.
Smile. Smile. Smile more. That's also something that helps a lot. A lot. Takes some practice, but smile. 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 See? We're getting there. And what is this now? This is endorphins. Endorphins are also happy chemicals in the body, but endorphins require some sort of workout. Whether you're working out with your mouth, whether you're working out with your cheeks, you're working out. Because anxiety doesn't really motivate us to go and do anything, right? We have no desire to change the world. We just want some relief from this dying thing that's happening inside. Right. Smile. Smile, smile, smile. As we do this, right? My relationships, this is the heart chakra. This is how we interact with everybody in the world. Please tell me, how are we interacting with everybody in the world?
Words.
No, like that, yes, but I'm not. Which is basically, please, aap mujhe thoda dekh lo. Please, aap mere liye thoda ye kar do. Can you do this for me? But who talks like that? Only children. Because what is anxiety? Quickly, everybody, are you taking notes? What is anxiety?
Abandonment.
Give me the complete one. Whatever you've understood, quickly give me this. Okay, actually, it's so unfair to you. They'll have just heard it. So unfair. It's okay. It's okay. Please listen to the replay. If you haven't made your notes, you must make your notes. My voice.
Wound.
Yeah. Starting from abandonment, anxious desires, unmet needs in nourishment, my worth, and my relationship. Then we will also start chasing money, hoping that will give us the nourishment, worth, and make us important enough in our relationships. Never works. My voice. What has happened to my voice? By the time abandonment has reached here, by the time anxiety has reached, and not to mention that my relationships is the heart chakra, right? This is where maximum pressure takes place. Where is overwhelm? In the body, only in the chest. Where a family member is threatening for you. Because abandonment, right, means I can't survive because I'm alone. I'm going to die. But now when we are dealing with someone, either we are triggering the old memories we have with them, or they are reminding us of someone we knew before, and then that's triggering the same reaction in the body and bringing up the overwhelm. My thoughts. So by the time we get on top, this is our head. How is this head going to be? Stuffed, angry, tight, headachy, migraine, sinusitis, ADHD, memory problems, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Because what can this head do? Our heads have only one activity. I'm so sorry. Our head has only one exercise. It has thousands of activities. I'm so sorry, head. Has only one activity, which is think. How will it think? It's tight here, no? What will it do? Tight means मैं ना नीचे जा सकती हूँ, ना ऊपर जा सकती हूँ. Now, same hamster wheel is going on and on and on. And there is no way we have positivity. Although things happen in life, some positivity can show up, so some positive thoughts can happen. But for the most part, in this tight constriction, what am I going to think? I'm going to think victim thoughts. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares about me. Only I have to take care of myself. Only I have to make it happen. There's nobody I can turn to. I'll never be able to change my life. This is never going to work out. Everybody hates me. Nobody is there for me. Everybody is trying to do bad things to me. They're all trying to take something from me. They're all trying to rob me. They're all trying to cheat me. Those are the thoughts we have, right? Now quickly protect myself from who's going to take what. But actually, the protection is what? I want to live. The threat is to life. An erroneous threat. The system doesn't know. Autobot means it's just carrying on like a robot. is just carrying on without human intervention, but human intervention has happened today. And then my divinity is my connection to God and the universe. And that's a completely separate conversation we will do on Saturday. God, karma, and anxiety, and what's going on there. But right now, because this is how our tree of life works, our tree of force, our tree of light is our chakra system. Chakra work is absolutely non-negotiable in any anxiety freedom work. Any anxiety freedom work you do without taking care of these things, it will have results. Everything works. Everything works. You may not get the result you want, but everything works. Even a crocet works. You have to do chakra work. And very quickly, I will tell you the two biggest mistakes we all make. It's a terrible thing to do in anxiety. Terrible, the worst. And yet, in the group as well, I've seen a couple of people post how they should do that. Could not have explained so much on the group. I hope you're here. But this, right? The tight constriction, tightness on top of the head. Mind is already hamster wheeling. Right? Do not meditate. Please. What is meditation? It's a head activity. Where are you? Already in the head. How much of you? All of you is in the head because the rest of you is so frightening to live in. Please do not meditate. If you are not grounded, if your roots are not okay, do not meditate. It is not for you. But I feel so much better. But I do visual guidance. So it's not really a meditation. Yes, it is. What is the first thing we learned? Look outside of you. What is meditation? Go live in your head and meditate on something. Whether you're meditating on somebody's voice or whether you're meditating on a certain truth from the Shastras. Do not meditate. Are we clear? Has everybody gotten this?
Yes.
Yes, you will be charged a fine of 5 lakh rupees. Somebody quickly translate that and tell me in dollars. You, in your desire to help the person in a group, will mention meditation. I will send you an invoice. You are not to give this advice to anybody who's anxiety prone or has an anxiety tendency or is anxiety driven. I work with people who have spent years in Vipassana, years doing Buddhist chants. And in your head, you're going to think, right? These are such spiritual activities. And they are. And no problem doing it. But what about the first 3? What about my family, my desires, my nourishment? What about my Muladhara, my Swadhisthana, and my Navi? Because all of these activities take you here. Little bit Vipassana won't. It in fact takes you into the body, but its basic principle is that you must learn to meditate. Do not go to Vipassana if you have anxiety. Please do not go to Vipassana if you have more than half those symptoms. For those of you all who said none, please go. It'll be amazing. The second thing that happens here
Okay, people, just hang in there. Nidhu will be right back. We do have something still coming up. There is a little bit of work, another experience for you, and of course, information on how you can get cracking on doing this work for yourself. In the meantime, if anybody has any questions about anything that is being spoken about now, especially right now, you can put that in. Okay, Priya, you've asked what about breath work? We'll wait to ask Nidhu once she's back. I'm having a look at the groups. Okay, nothing coming in here as such. We'll just leave the screen here as it is. And there's a lot that has happened on the call already.
True.
Since the beginning. Ah, you're here. I was just going to give a few bullets here there.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Nidhu. So Priya had asked, what about breath work? Like you said, don't meditate. She's asked, what about breath work? Oh, I thought you were here. So anyway.
Yes, very much. Breath work, pranayam, fantastic. Can't do breath work in your head. Breath work is activity. And everybody who has half, less than half, or more than half, some physical activity brings you outside your head. Any physical activity. One of the things I've also suggested in the group is just this. Please go and start decluttering a cupboard. Start decluttering your fridge. You have to bring yourself out of your head. Here's the thing about the head. I think I was going to tell you the second worst thing to do.
Yes.
Now,
the two top mistakes.
Yeah, sorry, please say me.
You were talking about the two top mistakes. The first one being don't meditate.
Yeah, don't meditate, and please don't recommend it to people randomly as well, unless you've understood their problem. Second, in the understanding of how pranayams work and how there are an interplay of 10 pranas in the body, prana being our life force, our chi, the force. The Ujjaini prana is a prana that reaches the top of the head, and on our last day, it will move through here and it will move on to the rest of its adventures. The understanding of that is that energy always rushes to the head to escape. So the more abandoned you are, and remember, abandonment it's anything. It's you showing up to say, I got this role in the play, and then your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your dog, your cat, and they ask you, like, what is this? You say, I'm going to be an amazing tree. And they say, tree, just a tree. In that moment, we are abandoned. Depending on how big your abandonment is, your energy will always be shooting into the head. Why? Because that is how we are built. That is how we function. It's trying to escape. Just as your throbbing, palpitating heart is trying to throw out energy, this is trying to break through from the top of our skull and leave. Of course it can't, because karma is not yet done. And therefore, the worst thing to do with this energy is to use what if with a negative. What if this will happen? What will that will happen? What if that will crash? What if an asteroid shows up? What if all of humanity is destroyed? What if this never works? What if is a decree. You must always use it to manifest the life you want. What if I don't die? What if I'm actually going to be absolutely fine? What if my life is going to be amazing? What if my life is already becoming amazing? What if this situation works out for me? What if there is an end to anxiety? I don't have a bell. So if there's a knock on my door, give me one moment, people, 1 moment. I'm so sorry.
Okay, and we have people still joining the Telegram groups. So hello to you, welcome in. I hope you've been here since the beginning of the call. If not, catch up on the replay, okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. And then you can ask me any question you want on the group. What was I saying? What if?
Yes, what if?
What if has to be used correctly. In worry, the negative mental chatter on that hamster wheel, what if is being used incorrectly. You are trying to manifest suffering. You are trying to manifest your fears without realizing it. What if, and more work with what if is going to happen on Thursday as well as Saturday. What if is just incredible. And I'm going to show you a way. We're going to do one-on-one demonstrations on Thursday. I'm going to show you how we're going to be using what if together. And it is going to be, no, actually, you come and tell me that it was lovely or that it was amazing. So, point is, chakra work is a must. And even though we thought we would do a little bit of chakra work today, we have so crossed our time that I just want to very quickly let you know that there are two ways in which you can join this program. There is an option of two more along with those two, but there are two ways that you can show up to continue this work after this week. And the first one of them is actually to do with chakra work, where we will do 10 chakra decrees. And we'll do 2 of these on Thursday. You've seen already how fast it works. And you're going to experience it on Thursday with the root chakra, because the root is the most important. So the first way that we're going to do this is that we're going to learn 10 chakra decrees, meaning you can work on somebody's chakras within 10 to 12 minutes. Your instinct might make you want to stay at a chakra longer, that's fine. But it won't take you time to become a chakra crackerjack. Crackerjack, not to be confused with the biscuit. We found out people, crackerjack is almost like saying champion. So a chakra crackerjack is what you can become. And it is part of the anxiety freedom that you are seeking. You will get the PDF immediately. As if, moment you make the payment, in your welcome email, you already have these 10. It's not going to be fully clear to you because we didn't do it today. We're going to do it on Thursday, but you will have it with you. Like I remember Neelu saying, I feel so much better when I have the textbook. And this is the textbook for that. And I was like, she's absolutely right. You will have the textbook. You will also be part of the special group. This is your package A1 group. A1 people, you'll have your PDF. We will do the training call. Then we will practice for 8 days. And when you're practicing for 8 days, every day we're going to practice. Meaning while you're learning, you're also going to be doing it for your own chakras. So all these calls are training plus healing. And all of this is available to you right now. Right now. And by the way, you'll get a certificate as well. Yes. Can anybody tell me why the certificate is so red and so gorgeous? Can anybody tell me?
Because once you start at the root and you start working on it, it is a golden journey upwards. Hello.
That's it. And that's why when you get this certificate and it is so red, somebody asks you, isn't it very red? You will say, yes. Because my root is absolutely fine. It's awesome. This red is to celebrate our root. And all of this is available for just 24,000 rupees and $327. And I ask everybody to do this. Now, you don't know the special offer, whatever it is, tell me you're going to pick it up for this price. You have to say yes.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes,
And
every day and 10 times on a Sunday.
thank you. Thank you. Mwah, 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 mwah. And you're going to get this. I was just going to say it, but there it is. You're going to get this at just $2,433 US dollars. It's a 90% value saving. But hang on. This is the first part of the program. And we have another part of the program. And that part of the program includes this part. So there is one more part coming up. But at the same time, even if you're here and you would like to do a 30-minute anxiety freedom one-on-one, then we have an option there as well. So there is package B coming up that has this training and that training. And then there is A2, where we will get together for 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, we'll take a look at your anxiety. We'll take a look at the wound. And we will clear whatever we can. Everything we can. You've seen how fast it works. So we will clear. And this would normally have been available for this extra price, which is 33K and 450 USD.
Not extra price, Nidhu. Normally available at this price.
Normally available.
It's not extra.
Extra from A1.
Okay. Yeah, right. Because of the session.
Yeah, but this is also available to you, not at 90% off, obviously, but at a very, very lovely, sweet family number of 6,001 and US 82. You have package A, where you're going to be a chakra crackerjack. 10 sets you're going to do, and you're going to know how to do them. Because remember how we did the setup and then we went to the decree? Like that, there is a setup and then we do the chakra work. But you'll see the setup. You'll see the setup when you take a look at your PDF.
I do want to mention very quickly, Nidhu. Sorry,
Yeah.
I've come in when I, with the original price, and I said, no, this is not extra. What I meant was, because even this offer, even this one, okay, at 6,001, this is the whole package, full package A, and a 30-minute online personal session with you.
Yes.
Your normal sessions don't cost 6,000, and the 30 minutes, where just one session with Nidhu, 30 minutes is huge. Even that is not, its regular price is not 6,000. It is double, triple, okay, quadruple also. So at this price, to get package A and a session with you, that red certificate with the gold, is that only sone pe suhaga.
Yeah, definitely take it for the certificate.
Yes, please.
But hang on. And while I have done special pricing for personal sessions at 6,000, they have not included a program. That's not happened. But there's the program, there's the 30-minuter, but there's also the possibility of a 1 hour. And that comes with package B1, where package B1 includes the Chakra Crackerjack. And then we're going to be together till mid-November. And we're going to be doing calls. And you'll get an idea of how these calls take place this Saturday. You'll know exactly how the calls happen. So you'll even be able to decide if you'll even be able to decide if that is something that is of comfort to you, because it's very easy, right, for us to get insecure, for us to become hyper, for us to then start overthinking, for us to get FOMO. It's very easy, right, when we're dealing with anxiety. So you will get to check whether this works for you, whether this format, because it's another platform, it's an audio-only platform called Instant Teleseminar. You will see for yourself. You'll be comfortable. So you can decide after that as well. And this one has 6 more training group calls, and we have 2 calls in the chakra training. So a total of 8 calls. And this one, right? 6 healing cone of silence group calls. No, keep this there.
Sorry. Sorry. That was
Keep this. No problem. You saw the tree of life. We're going to be working with the tree of life when we work on our chakra system. But in the cone of silence and stillness, which is something that we started about a month back in order to deal with how our head is behaving in Mercury retrograde. And now that Uranus has gone retrograde, it's actually a Uranus retrograde cone of silence and stillness, still working on our heads. Cone of silence and stillness means you just come and receive, but you can't talk to anybody for 30 minutes. You can't look at your phone, you can't be chatting. You have to be quiet. You can signal to somebody if you want, but you can't talk for 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, you come. If you can be still, you be still. If you can't be still, walk about. It's okay. But silence is a must. And we will do, for example, and you're going to see how this happens. Some of you all already know. But those of you all who don't know, you're going to experience it tomorrow. And that's the thing that Neelu was talking about. And tomorrow, the work we've done today, we're going to be doing in silence, as in the entire decree set. I will be doing, and you will only be receiving the energy. It's fun, but you have to be quiet. So you're going to experience how that happens tomorrow. And what we've done with every training call, except the chakra trainings, what we've done with every training call is whatever work we do on the training call, in order for that to assimilate and integrate better, it will be followed with that cone of silence and stillness under the tree of life.
Oh, amazing.
His long name, but
makes total sense though.
Thank you, Neelu.
I know it absolutely does. You know, in a world where everyone's going on short forms and reducing spellings for no reason valid enough for that, a sentence with beautiful words that make sense. Yeah, a sentence that makes sense is what you just said.
Thank you. I'm going to have to get up again and fill my bottle. But 6 more training calls, 6 healing cones of silence and stillness under the tree of life, and a 28-day telegram practice. Now, till November, it's clearly more than that. However, we will take a break for the Indian festivals of Navratri and Diwali. That's why 28-day. Now, what does this 28-day practice mean? It means on the group, you will be told what has to be done for the day. You will be told to contribute how you felt when you did that day's practice, depending on the call we've just had, because each call is aligned to the symptoms, the 76 symptoms. Now, when I asked you to bring your number 1 symptom, I asked you to bring 3, we were working on the number 1. Like that, every time you will keep bringing your number 1 because there will be the next number 1. Along with that, we will be doing a certain section of the 76 symptoms across 6 calls. So we're going to be working on everything. Does this mean that you will be absolutely 6-packed by the next day? No. These are training calls. These are training calls for those of us who enjoy and want to learn and have that autonomy of choice, who want to make the growth from the traumatized, wounded child to the happy, healthy, functioning adult. It is for us. And therefore, you have to be able to want that for yourself. Because anxiety works a certain way, the 6 healing cones are there so that you can just come and receive, so that something is done for you. That everything is not, oh my God, now there's another thing I have to do alone. No, you're not going to be alone. You're going to be with all of us. You're going to be with your village. You are going to be with your tribe. It's going to be okay. And all of this, and there are details to what the calls are. And I'm going to put that on the link for today, because I can imagine how much you all must be wanting to know how much this is. And you know, I'm sure everybody's taken out their credit card and opened their wallet and are just waiting to press click. So a lot of these details are up on our page, of course. Take your time to go through them. But here is the value. Oh, look at this sweetheart certificate. Isn't it so calming?
Yes.
I chose this color because if it's like, there's nothing this color can do to you except soothe you, reassure you. This is also as close as I could get to the color of the belly button chakra, because the belly button chakra isn't considered a chakra in most formats, right? It's included in the solar plexus. Or if you think of the Nabhi chakra, which includes actually the solar plexus and the sacral, includes the belly button. But in our work, the belly button is special. Belly button is not available on your PDF because we work with the belly button a little differently, but all the other chakras are. So this is the closest coloring to it. Not to mention gold, language of gold, language of light, language of the force. It's the same.
And it is nicely gift wrapped. Shilpa, is it just me or did Nidhu's video just go off?
Yeah, Neelu.
Okay, all right. So we're going to wait a moment to hear back from Nidhu. And in the meantime, I'll keep the screen on this lovely certificate. And as Nidhu said, that this color is soothing. And we've had a long call. We've taken in a lot of information. We've worked with ourselves, with the decrees, with anxiety. A lot of processing has happened. I hope you've been having your water continuously, and we will get you the rest of the figures right away. We're just going to wait for a few minutes. I also would like to just remind everybody that in the meantime, reminding you, Nidhu is back on Thursday and Saturday. Yes, but we are meeting tomorrow. And Shilpa, help me out here. Tomorrow is an instant teleseminar link, correct? It's not a Zoom call.
Yeah,
But
Neelu.
tomorrow's cone of silence, correct? Yes, thank you. So please do not land up on the Telegram group and say, I can't see Nidhu, because it's a non-video call. All right, that's one. And Thursday you're here, Saturday you are here. Thursday, in fact, there's a lot more work that is going to happen. As Nidhu said, there was a group of work that we were supposed to complete today, but we'll do that now on Thursday. We have received a lot today. We've worked on not the 76 symptoms, but your top 3 from there. We've had a look at the 2-word number decree. All the work that has happened within seconds, within minutes. Shifts have been noticed and all of you have been sharing it. And, I think when it comes to the decree work, once you start experiencing it, you only want to keep going back to it. There are a lot of people on the group, on the call today, on the group here, who have done this work for quite some time with Nidhu, who maybe just joined in recently, or as was it Roshni who mentioned that she's just joined with her Kona Silence work recently. Once you get in and you start having this perspective put forward in front of you on understanding an underlying issue or concern, then it does change things. And to help you shift and process that is the decrees. Shilpa, do we have any word on Nidhu?
Yes, Nilu. On the group.
Okay. All right. Uh, I will continue this. For the moment, there is a slight tech issue happening. Okay, so all of this, which is B1, and Nidhu did mention a 1 hour session. That offer is coming up. So B1, which includes package A1 and all its bonuses, is originally priced at 99,001 rupees or 1,348 dollars. Well worth it. I'm not Nidhu, but I'll ask you anyway. Would you pay this? And just say yes, because here's your special, very special offer, which is at 15,001 rupees only, or $205, which is 85% savings and an additional 10% savings for VIP members. This is Become an Anxiety Freedom Specialist, total 8 training calls and 6 healing calls. Here is the one where you have everything from package B1 that we just spoke about, plus you get 1 hour with Nidhu as a personal session, one-on-one, online, tailored for your anxiety relief, includes decree work and clearings, receive personalized next steps to continue healing. And there is this lovely bonus here. There is a very special money call in October by Nidhu, and you with B2, it's a paid for call, that call. You with B2 get entry into that call as well. This would originally cost 1,08,000 or $1,470, but you know where you are. This is the Mystic Lotus and Dragonflies, and therefore your special price is only 24,000 rupees, 24,001 rupees, or 327 US dollars. That's a 78% savings. Plus, there is an additional 10% savings for VIP members. Now, it's been posted in the group. People who were on the package C with the Family Light Doctor, you are getting an additional benefit of 10%. The team will let you know, or you can DM the team as well. All right. Immediate next steps for you people. We mentioned earlier, tomorrow, 4th September, you get a glimpse of the Cone of Silence and Stillness under the Tree of Life call. This is tomorrow at 6 p.m. All our calls are normally 6:30 p.m. This is 6 p.m. India. It will not be on Zoom. I cannot emphasize that clearly enough. It is an audio call. Links will be shared with you. After that, on the 5th is call 2 with Nidhu, which is the next round of Awakening the Force Within, and step 3, which is on 7th September, is the God, Karma and Anxiety, a Saturn's Decree special. This is a trailer of how all the group calls take place. It is an audio call again. So tomorrow audio, Thursday Zoom, Saturday audio. Okay. Now here again, this trailer that you get to see, people, really, it's as good as getting your first training call free. So, and when you come, you'll find out. All right. Here you have your packages. I'm just rounding up the prices for you very quickly. Package A1, Anxiety Relief with Chakra Healing, 2 group calls and 8 days of practice. Special price 2,401 rupees or $33. Package A2 includes package A1 plus 30 minutes online personal session with Nidhu at a very special price of $82 and 6,001 rupees. There is package B1, which includes package A1. Okay, please do not confuse A2. There is no A2 here. It's only A1. Become an Anxiety Freedom Specialist. Total 8 training calls and 6 healing calls at only 15,001 rupees or $205. And package B2 includes package B1, which includes A1, not A2. 1 hour And this includes 1 hour online personal session with Nidhu plus bonus of the entry. And this is at a special price of only $327 or 24,001 rupees. Let the force be within you with Nidhu B Kapoor. And I will just wind up immediately. All your questions, please put them on the group. Nidhu will get back to you. Greatly appreciate all of you being here from the beginning right till now. It is very encouraging for us also. Thank you so much for being here. Take your break, enjoy your dinner, relax. Come back tomorrow at 6 p.m. India time. And on Zoom, we will see you on Thursday. I said this in the middle of the call. I'm just going to say it again for everybody here, for everybody listening to the replay. Peoples, may the force be with you. Much love. See you all soon. Bye-bye.